Sharp, sharp. If something is sharp, it has a point or edge that can easily cut things. A rose branch has sharp thorns. Now you say sharp. Sharp. Bold, bold. When a person is bold, that person is not afraid. A bold acrobat walked high above the crowd. Now you say bold. Bold. Stare, stare. When people stare, they look at something for a long time. I can stare at my fish for hours. Now you say stare. Stare. Coward, coward. Sometimes a person who is too afraid of something is called a coward. My dog is a coward during a storm. Now you say coward. Coward. Flee, flee. Flee means to run away, usually from danger. The bears flee from the buzzing bees. Now you say flee. Flee. Grin, grin. When you grin, you smile with pleasure. The swimmers grin after winning the race. Now you say grin. Grin. Fortune, fortune. A fortune can be a large amount of money or lots of jewels. The chest holds a fortune of gold. Now you say fortune. Fortune. Sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky means doing something without anyone knowing about it. The sneaky boy took a cookie from the plate. Now you say sneaky. Sneaky. Empty, empty. Empty means holding nothing. The cereal box is empty. Now you say empty. Empty. Gasp, gasp. When you gasp, you take a quick and sudden breath. The loud pop of the balloon made me gasp. Now you say gasp. Gasp.
Host, host. A host is someone who takes care of his or her guests. The host gives out cupcakes at her party. Now you say host. Host. Scold, scold. When you scold someone, you speak in an angry way. I scold Buster for chewing on my sneaker. Now you say scold. Scold. Rude, rude. When you are rude, you show bad manners. It is rude to tell secrets. Now you say rude. Rude. Serious, serious. When you are serious, you are not joking. I am serious while I paint my model airplane. Now you say serious. Serious. Dart, dart. To dart means to run or move quickly. Two squirrels dart up the tree. Now you say dart. Dart. Sly, sly. Sly means clever or sneaky. The sly fox tiptoed up to the chicken. Now you say sly. Sly. Fog. Fog. Fog is a thick mist of water that is close to the ground. The fog rolled under the bridge. Now you say fog. Fog. Gulp. Gulp. To gulp means to quickly swallow a large amount of air or liquid. I gulp water when I'm thirsty. Now you say gulp. Gulp. Weary. Weary. When you are weary, you are very tired. Dad carried my weary brother to the car after the game. Now you say weary. Weary. Upset. Upset. When you are upset, you are unhappy or angry. The girl was upset that she lost her balloon. Now you say upset. Upset.
Market. Market. A market is a place where people can buy and sell lots of items. The market sells fruits and flowers. Now you say market. Market. Seller. Seller. A seller is a person who gives something in return for money. I bought popcorn from the seller during the baseball game. Now you say seller. Seller. Area. Area. An area is a particular place or section. We brought our basket over to the picnic area. Now you say area. Area. Price. Price. A price tells how much something costs. I bought a teddy bear at a good price. Now you say price. Price. Ripe. Ripe. If something is ripe, it is ready to eat. The boy picked a ripe strawberry off the plant. Now you say ripe. Ripe. Rapid. Rapid. If something is rapid, it is very quick. It was a rapid ride down the first hill. Now you say rapid. Rapid. Surround. Surround. Surround means to be on all sides of something or someone. The children surround the box to see the kitten. Now you say surround. Surround. Complain. Complain. When people complain, they let others know they are unhappy about something. I complain when my mom says it's bedtime. Now you say complain. Complain. Yank. Yank. When you yank something, you give it a quick, strong pull. I yank the camp bell at lunchtime. Now you say yank. Yank. Gather. Gather. To gather objects means to pick them all up. Please gather your clothes off the floor. Now you say gather. Gather.
Temperature. Temperature. Temperature tells us how hot or cold something is. A thermometer measures the temperature outside. Now you say temperature. Temperature. Protect. Protect. When you protect something, you keep it safe. A mother bear must protect her cub. Now you say protect. Protect. Hunt. Hunt. When you hunt for something, you search or look for it. A lion must hunt for its food. Now you say hunt. Hunt. Fierce. Fierce. When we say that something is fierce, we mean that it is wild, strong, and dangerous. The fierce tiger let out a loud roar. Now you say fierce. Fierce. Huddle. Huddle. When you huddle, you gather together in a small, close group. The soccer players huddle together before the game. Now you say huddle. Huddle. Howl. Howl. To howl is to make a long, loud crying sound. I always hear the wolf howl at night. Now you say howl. Howl. Freezing. Freezing. When something is freezing, it is very cold and sometimes covered in ice. I wear my winter coat and scarf when it is freezing outside. Now you say freezing. Freezing. Hatch. Hatch. When animals hatch, they break out of their eggs. The chick will hatch out of its eggs soon. Now you say hatch. Hatch. Cozy. Cozy. When something or someone is cozy, it is warm, comfortable, and relaxed. I am cozy when I snuggle in my blanket. Now you say cozy. Cozy. Slide. Slide. To slide is to move smoothly along a slippery surface. The girl loves to slide down with her dad. Now you say slide. Slide.
Chatter. Chatter. When people chatter, they talk fast about unimportant things. The boys chatter about the game on the way home. Now you say chatter. Chatter. Swift. Swift. Swift means moving quickly. The swift horse galloped in the meadow. Now you say swift. Swift. Peer. Peer. When you peer at something, you look very closely at it. The girl will peer into the telescope to look at the moon. Now you say peer. Peer. Stumble. Stumble. When you stumble, you lose your balance and trip. I stumble on the sidewalk. Now you say stumble. Stumble. Slippery. Slippery. When something is slippery, it is very smooth or wet and hard to stand on or hold on to. This bar of soap is too slippery to hold. Now you say slippery. Slippery. Blush. Blush. When you blush, you become red in the face. Grandma's big kiss made the boy blush. Now you say blush. Blush. Startle. Startle. To startle means to surprise. Lightning can startle deer. Now you say startle. Startle. Drench. Drench. When you drench something, you make it completely wet. Heavy rains drench the little girl. Now you say drench. Drench. Dusk. Dusk. Dusk is the time of day just before the sun goes down. The playground closes at dusk. Now you say dusk. Dusk. Doze. Doze. Doze means to sleep lightly for a short amount of time. I began to doze during the movie. Now you say doze. Doze.
Squirm. Squirm. When people squirm, they twist their bodies or wiggle around. Let's watch the worm squirm. Now you say squirm. Squirm. Burst. Burst. When things burst, they break open suddenly. The girl used a bat to burst open the piñata. Now you say burst. Burst. Tangle. Tangle. A tangle is a twisted mess of knots. My sister's tangle of hair is hard to brush. Now you say tangle. Tangle. Examine. Examine. If you examine something, you look at it very closely. The doctor had to examine my ears. Now you say examine. Examine. Judge. Judge. When you judge something, you make a decision after carefully thinking about it. The man will judge the pie baking contest. Now you say judge. Judge. Space. Space. When there is space between one thing and another, it means there is distance between them. There is a big space between the girl's front teeth. Now you say space. Space. Fasten. Fasten. When you fasten objects together, you join them. Don't forget to fasten your seatbelt. Now you say fasten. Fasten. Frantic. Frantic. When you are frantic, you get very excited because you are afraid or nervous. He made a frantic dash to catch the bus. Now you say frantic. Frantic. Shock. Shock. A shock is a sudden, surprising event that often is upsetting. The bat popping out came as a shock to the rider. Now you say shock. Shock. Spread. Spread. When you spread something, you stretch it out. I watched the peacock spread its feathers. Now you say spread. Spread.
Timid. Timid. If someone is timid, that means he or she is shy. My sister was too timid to meet my teacher. Now you say timid. Timid. Instrument. Instrument. An instrument is something that is used to make music. The trumpet is my favorite instrument. Now you say instrument. Instrument. Sway. Sway. When people sway, they slowly move their bodies back and forth. I made the hammock sway by pushing off with my feet. Now you say sway. Sway. Perform. Perform. When people perform, they present something to others. Watch the magician perform his trick. Now you say perform. Perform. Nervous. Nervous. People who are nervous are worried about something that might happen. The boy was nervous when it was his turn to spell a word. Now you say nervous. Nervous. Role. Role. A role is a part played by a person. The boy plays the role of Abe Lincoln in the show. Now you say role. Role. Lively. Lively. When something is lively, that means it's very energetic. We are very lively today. Now you say lively. Lively. Whirl. Whirl. To whirl means to turn quickly in a circle. The dancers whirl around on stage. Now you say whirl. Whirl. Shriek. Shriek. To shriek means to let out a loud, sharp sound. The baby might shriek when he sees the toy. Now you say shriek. Shriek. Applause. Applause. Applause is a clapping of the hands to let performers know they did a good job. I hope my sister can hear our applause. Now you say applause. Applause.
Mischief. Mischief. When you get into mischief, you do playful things that get you into trouble. That raccoon is always making mischief. Now you say mischief. Mischief. Grateful. Grateful. When you are grateful, you show thanks for someone's kindness. The woman was grateful that the boy helped carry her groceries. Now you say grateful. Grateful. Stun. Stun. When you stun someone, you surprise that person. Winning first place really did stun the girl. Now you say stun. stun, splendid, splendid. When something is splendid, it is beautiful or magnificent. It is a splendid bouquet of flowers. Now you say splendid. Splendid. Selfish. Selfish. When you are selfish, you think about only yourself. The boy was too selfish to share the ball. Now you say selfish. Selfish. Groan. Groan. When you groan, you make a deep, sad sound. The boy started to groan after eating too much. Now you say groan. Groan. Romp. Romp. When you romp, you play in a lively manner. It was fun watching the dogs romp together on the beach. Now you say romp. Romp. Stormy. Stormy. When the weather is stormy, there are strong winds and rain. The stormy sea tossed the fishing boat about. Now you say stormy. Stormy. Delighted. Delighted. When you are delighted, you are pleased and happy. The girl was delighted with her new pinwheel. Now you say delighted. Delighted. Sprinkle. Sprinkle. When you sprinkle, you drop small bits onto something. I like to sprinkle cheese on my pizza. Now you say sprinkle. Sprinkle.
Jealous. Jealous. People who are jealous feel upset because they want something that someone else has. The girl was jealous of her friend's new doll. Now you say jealous. Jealous. Roam. Roam. When you roam, you wander around without a plan. The buffalo roam all day long. Now you say roam. Roam. Misty. Misty. If the weather is misty, there are drops of water in the air. It was very misty near the waterfall. Now you say misty. Misty. Create. Create. Create means to make something. The baker likes to create fancy cakes. Now you say create. Create. Dainty. Dainty. When something is dainty, it is small and delicate. Please be careful with the dainty tea set. Now you say dainty. Dainty. Complete. Complete. When something is complete, nothing is missing. My puzzle is almost complete. Now you say complete. Complete. Edge. Edge. An edge is the place where an area ends. The bird flew to the edge of the cliff. Now you say edge. Edge. Attach. Attach. When you attach objects, you join them together. Mom helped me attach my note to the gift. Now you say attach. Attach. Silent. Silent. When you are silent, you do not make a sound. We must be silent when the show begins. Now you say silent. Silent. Damage. Damage. When you damage something, you harm or injure it. Hitting a pothole can damage my bike. Now you say damage. Damage.
Footprint. Footprint. A footprint is a mark made by a foot or shoe. My shoe left a footprint in the cement. Now you say footprint. Footprint. Creak. Creak. When you hear a creak, you hear a sharp squeaking sound. I heard a creak as I climbed up the stairs. Now you say creak. Creak. Anxious. Anxious. When you are anxious, you are nervous or worried about something. I am anxious about diving into the pool. Now you say anxious. Anxious. Whimper. Whimper. When you whimper, you make a soft crying sound. The puppy started to whimper outside the door. Now you say whimper. Whimper. Plead. Plead. When you plead, you beg. I plead with my mom for a new bike. Now you say plead. Plead. Limp. Limp. When you walk with a limp, your walk is uneven because something is wrong with your leg or foot. The player walked off the field with a limp. Now you say limp. Limp. Trust. Trust. If you trust someone, you believe in that person. You believe that person will be there to help you. I trust my climbing coach to make sure that I don't get hurt. Now you say trust. Trust. Exchange. Exchange. When you exchange something, you give one thing and get something back. We exchange Valentine's Day cards with our friends. Now you say exchange. Exchange. Polite. Polite. When you are polite, you have good manners. Your sister is very polite at the dinner table. Now you say polite. Polite. Drowsy. Drowsy. When you are drowsy, you are very sleepy. The girl felt drowsy during the long car ride. Now you say drowsy. Drowsy.
Symbol. Symbol. A symbol is an object that stands for something else. The American flag is an important symbol of our country. Now you say symbol. Symbol. Tidy. Tidy. When something is tidy, it is very clean and neat. My desk is always tidy. Now you say tidy. Tidy. Polish. Polish. When you polish something, you rub it hard to make it shine. My brother likes to polish his shoes. Now you say polish. Polish. Destroy. Destroy. When you destroy something, you ruin it or wreck it. A fire can destroy a building. Now you say destroy. Destroy. Rescue. Rescue. When you rescue a person, you save that person from danger. The firefighter was able to rescue my cat. Now you say rescue. Rescue. Injury. Injury. An injury is harm done to a part of the body. Dad got an injury to his arm when he fell down. Now you say injury. Injury. Comfort. Comfort. When you comfort someone, you make him or her feel better. The nurse tries to comfort the sick child. Now you say comfort. Comfort. Seek. Seek. When you seek something, you try to find it. We are going to seek treasures in the backyard. Now you say seek. Seek. Celebrate. Celebrate. When you celebrate, you honor a special day or event with ceremonies. We celebrate the 4th of July by watching the fireworks. Now you say celebrate. Celebrate. Monument. Monument. A monument is a structure that honors a special person, event, or idea. The Statue of Liberty is a national monument. Now you say monument. Monument.
Argue. Argue. When people argue, they do not agree with each other. The boys argue about whose turn it is. Now you say argue. Argue. Exhausted. Exhausted. When you are exhausted, you are very tired and worn out. The runner is exhausted after the race. Now you say exhausted. Exhausted. Journey. Journey. When you go on a journey, you travel from one place to another. The young man took a long journey over the mountains. Now you say journey. Journey. Traveler. Traveler. A traveler is a person who travels or goes on trips. The traveler looked at her map to see which way to go. Now you say traveler. Traveler. Remove. Remove. When you remove something, you take it off or away. Dad used a hammer to remove the nail from the wall. Now you say remove. Remove. Clutch. Clutch. When you clutch something, you hold on to it very tightly. The girl likes to clutch her doll tightly. Now you say clutch. Clutch. Furious. Furious. When someone is furious, he or she is very angry. I was furious when my kite broke. Now you say furious. Furious. Loosen. Loosen. When you loosen something, you make it less tight. Grandpa uses his hands to loosen his tie. Now you say loosen. Loosen. Gently. Gently. When you do something gently, you do it in a soft and careful way. The girl gently places another card at the top of the tower. Now you say gently. Gently. Wrap. Wrap. When you wrap something, you fold or put a cover around it. My sister uses colorful paper to wrap a gift. Now you say wrap. Wrap.
Branch. Branch is a noun. A branch is a part of a tree. It grows out of the trunk of the tree. Red and yellow leaves fell from each branch of the tree. Now you say the word. Branch. Brave. Brave is an adjective. A brave person is someone who is not afraid of danger. When the cat got stuck in the tree, the brave boy climbed up to save it. Now you say the word. Brave. Dash. Dash is a noun. A dash is a small amount of something. The soup needs a dash of pepper. Now you say the word. Dash. Dash. Dash is a verb. When you dash, you move quickly. Don't slip if you dash across the wet grass. Now you say the word. Dash. Evening. Evening is a noun. The evening is the part of the day between late afternoon and early nighttime. We eat dinner in the evening after Mom gets home from work. Now you say the word. Evening. Greedy. Greedy is an adjective. A greedy person wants more of something than he or she needs. Kim was greedy when she did not share her big bowl of popcorn. Now you say the word. Greedy. Pass. Pass is a noun. A pass is a piece of paper that says the person holding it can do something. Mom has a pass to park her car in the lot. Now you say the word. Pass. Pass. Pass is a verb. When you go by something, you pass it. I passed by the park on my way home. Now you say the word. Pass. Present. Present is an adjective. If you are present in a place, you are there. Everyone was present on the class trip. Now you say the word. Present. Present. Present is a noun. A present is something that you give to someone out of kindness. I drew a picture for Greg as a present. Now you say the word. Present. Stream. Stream is a noun. A stream is a body of flowing water that is not too wide or deep. The water in the stream only reaches my ankles. Now you say the word. Stream. Trail. Trail is a noun. A trail is a path for people to follow, especially in the woods. I walk along the trail to the stream. Now you say the word. Trail. Wise. Wise is an adjective. A wise person or choice shows good sense and judgment. Wearing a raincoat on a wet day is a wise thing to do. Now you say the word. Wise.
Bench. Bench is a noun. A bench is a long seat for a few people to sit on. On each side of the picnic table is a wooden bench. Now you say the word. Bench. Bridge. Bridge is a noun. A bridge is something that is built above and across water. People or cars can go over it to get to the other side. A long bridge goes over the bay. Now you say the word. Bridge. Cross. Cross is an adjective. A person is cross if he or she is angry or not pleased. The child was cross when the dog grabbed his toy. Now you say the word. Cross. Cross. Cross is a verb. When you cross, you go from one side to the other. Look both ways before you cross the street. Now you say the word. Cross. Crowd. Crowd is a noun. A crowd is a lot of people all together in one place. A large crowd waits for the bus. Now you say the word. Crowd. Deep. Deep is an adjective. If something is deep, it goes a long way down. The children dug a deep hole in the sand. Now you say the word. Deep. Fresh. Fresh is an adjective. If something is fresh, it is clean or new. I put on a fresh shirt for the party. Now you say the word. Fresh. Fresh. Fresh is an adjective. Fresh means that something is cool or refreshing. Open the windows so the fresh air can cool off my room. Now you say the word. Fresh. Frown. Frown is a noun. A frown is an unhappy look on your face. When Nate found his lost puppy, his frown became a smile. Now you say the word. Frown. Frown. Frown is a verb. When you frown, you move your eyebrows together and wrinkle your forehead. I frown when I have to go to bed early. Now you say the word. Frown. Signal. Signal is a noun. A signal is an action or sign that sends a message. The red light is a signal that means stop. Now you say the word. Signal. Travel. Travel is a verb. When you travel, you go from one place to another. I want to travel all over the world. Now you say the word. Travel. Worry. Worry is a verb. When you worry, you feel that something bad may happen. My mom and dad worry if I don't eat well. Now you say the word. Worry.
Beach. Beach is a noun. A beach is land near the water. It is usually sandy. The children look for shells along the beach. Now you say the word. Beach. Center. Center is a noun. A center is a place that is in the middle of something. My mom put the flowers in the center of the table. Now you say the word. Center. Finally. Finally is an adverb. Finally means at last. We finally finished our homework. Now you say the word. Finally. Idea. Idea is a noun. An idea is a thought or a plan. It is something that you think of. Grandma had a great idea for Dad's birthday present. Now you say the word. Idea. Ocean. Ocean is a noun. The ocean is a very large area of salt water. It covers almost 3/4 of the earth. Ships sail across the big blue ocean. Now you say the word. Ocean. Seashell. Seashell is a noun. A seashell is the shell of a sea animal such as an oyster or a clam. The outside of the large seashell feels rough. Now you say the word. Seashell. Stack. Stack is a noun. A stack is a neat pile of something. I ate a tall stack of pancakes. Now you say the word. Stack. Stack. Stack is a verb. When you stack things, you pile them one on top of another. Please stack the books neatly on my desk. Now you say the word. Stack. Tiny. Tiny is an adjective. If something is tiny, it is very small. A tiny drop of water dripped from the bottle. Now you say the word. Tiny. Wave. Wave is a verb. When you wave, you move your hand back and forth. I waved to my friend. Now you say the word. Wave. Wave. Wave is a noun. A wave looks like a long bump moving through the water in a lake or ocean. A huge wave crashed onto the beach. Now you say the word. Wave. Wonder. Wonder is a verb. When you wonder about something, you are curious about it. You want to learn about it. I wonder why the sky is blue. Now you say the word. Wonder.
Arrive. Arrive is a verb. When you arrive somewhere, you reach the place you set out for. I arrive at school at 8 o'clock. Now you say the word. Arrive. Clear. Clear is an adjective. When something is clear, it is not cloudy or dark. There was not one cloud in the clear sky. Now you say the word. Clear. Clear. Clear is an adjective. Clear can also mean that you can see through something easily. We could see the rocks at the bottom of the clear lake. Now you say the word. Clear. Enormous. Enormous is an adjective. Anything enormous is very big. The elephant is enormous. Now you say the word. Enormous. Exactly. Exactly is an adverb. If something looks or happens exactly like something else, it looks or happens in the same way. My bike looks exactly like yours. Now you say the word. Exactly. Float. Float is a verb. When things float, they stay on top of water or in the air. I let go of the balloon and watched it float above the tree. Now you say the word. Float. Midnight. Midnight is a noun. Midnight comes at 12 o'clock at night. It is called midnight because it is in the middle of the night. I try to stay up until midnight, but I always fall asleep. Now you say the word. Midnight. Rainbow. Rainbow is a noun. A rainbow is made of long stripes of color in the sky. If the sun shines after it rains, you often see a rainbow. I can see orange, red, purple, blue, and other colors in a rainbow. Now you say the word. Rainbow. Snowstorm. Snowstorm is a noun. A snowstorm happens when a lot of snow falls. Over a foot of snow fell during the snowstorm. Now you say the word. Snowstorm. Weekend. Weekend is a noun. The weekend is made up of the 2 days of the week called Saturday and Sunday. I visit and eat lunch with my grandfather every weekend. Now you say the word. Weekend. Whisper. Whisper is a verb. When you whisper, you speak in a very soft and quiet voice. We whisper so that no one else will hear what we say. Now you say the word. Whisper.
Bright. Bright is an adjective. If something is bright, it gives a lot of light. The sun is bright today. Now you say the word. Bright. Bright. Bright is an adjective. Something bright can also mean that something is shiny. I scrubbed the pot until it looked bright and clean. Now you say the word. Bright. Chew. Chew is a verb. When you chew something, you break it into small pieces with your teeth. I chew my food before I swallow it. Now you say the word. Chew. Flour. Flour is a noun. Flour is a powder made from grain. It is used to make bread, cakes, and pies. We put a cup of flour into the bowl with the milk and eggs. Now you say the word. Flour. Hour. Hour is a noun. An hour is an amount of time. It is 60 minutes long. It takes 1 hour to bake the cake. Now you say the word. Hour. Inn. Inn is a noun. An inn is a small place where a person can eat a meal and stay for the night. It is usually in the country. After traveling all day, we stopped at an inn for the night. Now you say the word. Inn. Island. Island is a noun. An island is a piece of land with water all around it. It took the boat 2 hours to sail around the island. Now you say the word. Island. Nibble. Nibble is a verb. If you nibble something, you eat it with very small bites. Rabbits nibble on carrots. Now you say the word. nibble. Pale. Pale is an adjective. If something is pale, it has very little color. Jason's face looks pale because he is very sick. Now you say the word. Pale. Warn. Warn is a verb. If you warn someone, you tell the person about possible danger. A sign or signal can also warn. The sign warns us not to walk on the ice. Now you say the word. Warn.
Agree. Agree is a verb. When you agree with someone, you think the same way as the other person. Sam and I agree that ice skating is fun. Now you say the word. Agree. Bare. Bare is an adjective. If something is bare, it is not covered. I put my bare legs into the water. Now you say the word. Bare. Famous. Famous is an adjective. A famous person is someone who is known by many people. Babe Ruth is a baseball player who is famous. Now you say the word. Famous. Feast. Feast is a noun. A feast is a very large meal on a special day. Mom cooks a feast on Thanksgiving Day. Now you say the word. Feast. Gentle. Gentle is an adjective. If something is gentle, it is very soft and mild. I gave my baby sister a warm and gentle hug. Now you say the word. Gentle. Hero. Hero is a noun. A hero is a person you look up to for having done something good and brave. The boy is a hero for rescuing the cat from the tree. Now you say the word. Hero. Leader. Leader is a noun. A leader is a person who shows people where to go or how to do something. We follow the leader up the path. Now you say the word. Leader. Notice. Notice is a verb. If you notice something, you see it. The mouse was so quiet, the cat did not notice it. Now you say the word. Notice. Notice. Notice is a noun. A notice is a sign put up for people to read. Dad read the notice about the missing dog. Now you say the word. Notice. Search. Search is a verb. If you search for something, you look for it. Please help me search for my lost shoes. Now you say the word. Search. Weak. Weak is an adjective. If you feel weak, you do not feel strong. You cannot lift that heavy box if you are weak. Now you say the word. Weak. Alarm. Alarm is a noun. An alarm is something that wakes people or warns them of danger. It could be a bell or a buzzer. When the kitchen got smoky, an alarm sounded. Now you say the word. Alarm. Collect. Collect is a verb. When you gather things together, you collect them. I like to collect seashells at the shore. Now you say the word. Collect. Damp. Damp is an adjective. When something is damp, it is a little wet or moist. My shoes got wet in the rain and are still damp. Now you say the word. Damp. Insect. Insect is a noun. An insect is a small animal with 3 main body parts, 6 legs, wings, and no backbone. Bees, flies, and moths are insects. A dragonfly is an insect found near fresh water. Now you say the word. Insect. Plant. Plant is a noun. A plant is a living thing that grows in soil or in water. It often has green leaves. A tree is a kind of plant. Now you say the word. Plant. Plant. Plant is a verb. You plant when you put something such as a seed in the ground so it can grow. When is the best time to plant tulips? Now you say the word. Plant. Safe. Safe is an adjective. If something is safe, it is not in danger of being harmed or stolen. Always put on a seatbelt to be safe in a car. Now you say the word. Safe. Safe. Safe is a noun. A safe is a strong box in which you can lock up money and other valuable things. Holly keeps her special rings in a safe. Now you say the word. Safe. Scatter. Scatter is a verb. When you scatter things, you throw them over a large area. The children like to scatter breadcrumbs in the pond for the ducks. Now you say the word. Scatter. Soil. Soil is a noun. Soil is the dirt or earth that plants grow in. Plants need light, water, air, and soil to grow. Now you say the word. Soil. Team. Team is a noun. A team is a group of people who works together or plays a sport together. There are 11 players on a soccer team. Now you say the word. Team. Tool. Tool is a noun. A tool is a piece of equipment used to do a certain job. A hammer is a tool we use to pound nails. Now you say the word. Tool.
Dive. Dive is a verb. When you dive, you go head first into water with your arms stretched out in front of you. Rick knows how to dive into the deep end of the pool. Now you say the word. Dive. Enemy. Enemy is a noun. An enemy is a person or animal who doesn't like or wants to harm another person or animal. A hunter is an animal's enemy. Now you say the word. Enemy. Frighten. Frighten is a verb. When you frighten someone, you scare the person. Yoko can frighten her brother by wearing a scary mask. Now you say the word. Frighten. Herd. Herd is a noun. A herd is a group of animals. The herd may feed or travel together. A herd of cattle wanders in the meadow. Now you say the word. Herd. Pack. Pack is a verb. When you pack, you put things into a container, such as a bag, box, or suitcase. I will pack my books for school. Now you say the word. Pack. Pack. Pack is a noun. A pack is a group of something, such as animals, people, or things. There are 6 crayons in a pack. Now you say the word. Pack. Prove. Prove is a verb. When you prove something, you show that it's true. The experiment will prove that plants need sun to grow. Now you say the word. Prove. Seal. Seal is a noun. A seal is a sea animal that has thick fur and flippers. It can swim and live in cold places. The seal uses its flippers to pull itself along the ground. Now you say the word. Seal. Seal. Seal is a verb. When you seal something, you close it up tightly. Use tape to seal the box before you mail it. Now you say the word. Seal. Smooth. Smooth is an adjective. If something is smooth, it is flat and even, not rough and bumpy. A baby's skin is soft and smooth. Now you say the word. Smooth. Soar. Soar is a verb. To soar is to fly very high in the air. Watch the bald eagle soar in the sky. Now you say the word. Soar. Steady. Steady is an adjective. If something is steady, it continues and does not change much. We played inside all day because of the steady rainfall. Now you say the word. Steady.
Calm. Calm is an adjective. If something is calm, it is quiet and still. The ducks swam on the calm lake. Now you say the word. Calm. Cheer. Cheer is a verb. When people cheer, they yell or call out loudly. The fans cheer for the home team. Now you say the word. Cheer. Dawn. Dawn is a noun. Dawn is the time of day when the sun first comes up. Some people wake up at dawn. Now you say the word. Dawn. Entire. Entire is an adjective. Entire means the whole thing. It is all of something. We were so thirsty that we drank the entire jug of water. Now you say the word. Entire. Fair. Fair is an adjective. A person who is fair follows the rules and treats everyone the same way. Ed was fair and gave me a turn. Now you say the word. Fair. Fair. Fair is a noun. A fair is an outdoor place where people bring things to sell. It is a place where people have fun. I had fun on the rides at the fair. Now you say the word. Fair. Field. Field is a noun. A field is an area where a game is played. Usually, a field is covered with grass. The boy ran onto the field to join his teammates. Now you say the word. Field. Field. Field is a noun. A field is a large open area that has no trees. Sometimes a field is used to grow things. The horses ate grass in the field. Now you say the word. Field. Harm. Harm is a verb. Harm means to hurt. I stepped over the frog so that I would not harm it. Now you say the word. Harm. Pain. Pain is a noun. A pain is a feeling of hurt. I felt pain in my arm after I fell. Now you say the word. Pain. Shiver. Shiver is a verb. When you shiver, you shake quickly. Usually, your whole body will shiver if you are cold or afraid. The cold, blowing wind made me shiver. Now you say the word. Shiver. Tremble. Tremble is a verb. When you tremble, you shake from excitement or anger. A part of your body shakes a little when you tremble. My fingers tremble before I play the piano for my teacher. Now you say the word. Tremble.
Board. Board is a noun. A board is a long, flat piece of wood or plastic. The man used the board to finish building the doghouse. Now you say the word. Board. Board. Board is a verb. If you board a bus, you get on it. You might also board a train or a boat. The women will board the train with their bags. Now you say the word. Board. Curious. Curious is an adjective. If you are curious, you want to learn or find out about something. The kitten is curious about the new goldfish. Now you say the word. Curious. Dangerous. Dangerous is an adjective. Something that is dangerous is not safe. It could cause harm. Riding a bike without a helmet can be dangerous. Now you say the word. Dangerous. Doubt. Doubt is a verb. If you doubt something, you are not sure about it. I doubt that their team will win today. Now you say the word. Doubt. Eager. Eager is an adjective. A person who is eager is very interested in doing something. The girl is eager to play the piano. Now you say the word. Eager. Fear. Fear is a noun. Fear is a feeling that danger is near or that something bad will happen. I feel fear when I am in a dark place. Now you say the word. Fear. Fear. Fear is a verb. If you fear something, you are afraid of it. Singing in front of people is what I fear most. Now you say the word. Fear. Leap. Leap is a verb. If you leap, you take a jump forward. Watch the frog leap from one rock onto the other. Now you say the word. Leap. Screech. Screech is a noun. A screech is a loud, high sound. The bird made a loud screech when people came into the pet store. Now you say the word. Screech. Screech. Screech is a verb. When things screech, they make a loud sound. The tires screech when I brake. Now you say the word. Screech. Squeeze. Squeeze is a verb. If you squeeze something, you hold it tightly. The towel will dry more quickly if you squeeze the water out of it first. Now you say the word. Squeeze. Village. Village is a noun. A village is a small town. My grandparents live in a small village. Now you say the word. Village.
Beam. Beam is a noun. A beam is a long, strong piece of wood or metal that holds up part of a building. After the builders put in the last beam, they built the roof on top. Now you say the word. Beam. Beam. Beam is a verb. To beam is to send something out. Faraway stars beam light to earth. Now you say the word. Beam. Carve. Carve is a verb. When you carve something, you cut into it. I can carve a statue out of wood. Now you say the word. Carve. Den. Den is a noun. A den is where some wild animals rest. The wolf left its den to eat. Now you say the word. Den. Lean. Lean is a verb. When you lean, you bend in a certain direction. Lean back to watch the night sky. Now you say the word. Lean. Lean. Lean is an adjective. Something that is lean does not have much fat on it. The burger had lean meat in it. Now you say the word. Lean. Odd. Odd is an adjective. If something is odd, it is not what you are used to. A June snowstorm will be odd. Now you say the word. Odd. Odd. Odd is an adjective. An odd number cannot be divided evenly by 2. 5 is an odd number. Now you say the word. Odd. Proper. Proper is an adjective. If something is proper, it is right or correct. Wear proper clothing on cold days. Now you say the word. Proper. Scrape. Scrape is a verb. When you scrape something, you rub it against a rough or sharp surface. Help me scrape the paint off the door. Now you say the word. Scrape. Scrape. Scrape is a noun. A scrape is a mark made by rubbing or scratching against something rough. I fell and got a scrape on my knee. Now you say the word. Scrape. Steer. Steer is a verb. When you steer something, you move it in a certain direction. I tried to steer my bike in a straight line. Now you say the word. Steer. Steer. Steer is a noun. A steer is a bull that is raised for meat. A steer eats grass. Now you say the word. Steer. Tender. Tender is an adjective. When something is tender, it is soft and easy to cut. Grandpa's steaks are always tender. Now you say the word. Tender. Tense. Tense is an adjective. When you are tense, you are not relaxed. I felt tense when I tried out for the school play. Now you say the word. Tense.
Escape. Escape is a verb. You escape to get away. The dog tried to escape through the open gate. Now you say the word. Escape. Honest. Honest is an adjective. If you are honest, you tell the truth. I was honest and told Dad that I lost his pen. Now you say the word. Honest. Label. Label is a noun. A label is a sticker or tag fastened to something to tell more about it. The label on the can says there is enough soup for 2 people. Now you say the word. Label. Label. Label is a verb. When you label something, you write something on a sticker or tag to tell more about it. We should label all our boxes so we know what is in each one. Now you say the word. Label. Modern. Modern is an adjective. When something is modern, it has to do with the present time. In modern times, people write more emails than letters. Now you say the word. Modern. Object. Object is a noun. An object is a thing that you can see or touch. A ball is a round object. Now you say the word. Object. Pitch. Pitch is a verb. When you pitch something, you throw it. I tried to pitch the baseball right into the catcher's glove. Now you say the word. Pitch. Select. Select is a verb. When you select something, you pick it out. At night, I select clothes to wear the next day. Now you say the word. Select. Sniff. Sniff is a verb. When you sniff something, you take in air through your nose in short, quick breaths. My rabbit likes to sniff its food. Now you say the word. Sniff. Stable. Stable is a noun. A stable is a building where horses are kept. 6 horses live in the stable. Now you say the word. Stable. Stable. Stable is an adjective. Something that is stable is strong and not easily moved. Mom fixed the chair leg to make it more stable. Now you say the word. Stable. Steep. Steep is an adjective. A steep hill has a sharp slope that is difficult to go up. We had to walk our bikes up the steep part of the trail. Now you say the word. Steep.
Accept. Accept is a verb. When you accept something, you take or receive it. The company will accept packages between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Now you say the word. Accept. Address. Address is a noun. An address tells where a person or business is located. The address is 43 Grand Street, Houston, Texas. Now you say the word. Address. Address. Address is a verb. If you address people or groups, you speak to them. Speak clearly and loudly when you address the audience. Now you say the word. Address. Difficult. Difficult is an adjective. Something that is difficult is hard to do or understand. It is difficult to play chess well. Now you say the word. Difficult. Excuse. Excuse is a noun. An excuse is a reason that explains a mistake. My excuse for being late is that I overslept. Now you say the word. Excuse. Excuse. Excuse is a verb. When you excuse another person, You forgive the person. Please excuse me for bumping into you. Now you say the word. Excuse. Expert. Expert is a noun. An expert is someone who knows a lot about some special thing or does something really well. Grandma Moses was an expert painter. Now you say the word. Expert. Hollow. Hollow is an adjective. Something hollow has a hole or an empty space inside. The owl lives in a hollow tree trunk. Now you say the word. Hollow. Relax. Relax is a verb. When you relax, you become less tense. A back rub can relax tight muscles. Now you say the word. Relax. Section. Section is a noun. A section is part of a whole. I never read the sports section. Now you say the word. Section. Stamp. Stamp is a noun. A stamp is a small piece of printed paper that shows when postage is paid. The letter was returned because it did not have a stamp. Now you say the word. Stamp. Stamp. Stamp is a verb. If you stamp your foot, you put your foot down with force. The camper will stamp out the fire so it doesn't spread. Now you say the word. Stamp. Whole. Whole is an adjective. Something whole is complete. It has all its parts. We could not eat the whole pizza. Now you say the word. Whole.
Admire. Admire is a verb. When you admire someone or something, you think highly of the person or thing. The players admire the coach because she is smart and kind. Now you say the word. Admire. Attach. Attach is a verb. If you attach something, you join or connect it. Use tape to attach the note to the door. Now you say the word. Attach. Handle. Handle is a noun. The handle of an object is the part you use to lift or hold it. Pull hard on the handle to open the door. Now you say the word. Handle. Handle. Handle is a verb. If you handle a problem, you take care of it. A plumber can handle the problem of your leaky pipe. Now you say the word. Handle. Major. Major is an adjective. Something major is important or great in size or number. Heavy rain was a major cause of the flood. Now you say the word. Major. Passenger. Passenger is a noun. A passenger is someone who travels in a vehicle but is not the driver. The passenger fell asleep in the car. Now you say the word. Passenger. Prepare. Prepare is a verb. To prepare is to get ready. We will prepare for the birthday party by getting hats, candles, and cake. Now you say the word. Prepare. Separate. Separate is a verb. When you separate things, you sort or set them apart. Please separate the dark and light clothes before putting them in the washing machine. Now you say the word. Separate. Separate. Separate is an adjective. Separate objects are set apart. They are not joined. The two sisters have separate bedrooms. Now you say the word. Separate. Similar. Similar is an adjective. If two things are similar, they are alike or much the same. It is hard to tell the two drinks apart because they have a similar taste. Now you say the word. Similar. Slender. Slender is an adjective. A slender person or thing is thin. The slender tree branches snapped off in the storm. Now you say the word. Slender. Task. Task is a noun. A task is a job to be done. Each weekend during the fall, my task is to rake the leaves. Now you say the word. Task.